Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 20 of the 40 days of the capacity building training for 1,000 Nigerian civil servants on ICT. And this program is organized and powered by Hammad Technologies and Consultancy Services. My name is Abdul Muhammad, and I will be facilitating the class today. Uh, as usual, we normally start by giving the outline of the day. And for the outline, we are looking at recap on day 19, after which today we are going to look at how to create a simple CV, uh, then question and answer, then conclusion, and we call it a day. So I will give the session objectives for today, which I believe by the end of this session, participants should be able to explain what a CV is and also identify how important a CV is. Then we should be able to distinguish between the basic different types of CVs. Then we should be able to explain the concept of ATS, that is Applicant Tracking System, and why it matters in creating our CVs. Then finally, participants should be able to design a simple and professional CV using Microsoft Word suitable for civil service and other professional opportunities. Uh, Recap on the 19, if you remember, we discussed about how to create a formal letter where you are being introduced to the importance of formal letter in civil service activities. And also we look at how we can design a simple formal letter, which we did in our previous class. And I believe by this time we are able to create a formal letter where we can be able to put our address, recipient's address, the salutations, headings, the body, as well as the conclusion and also the signature. So we should be able to draft a professional formal letter using Microsoft Word to make our work outstanding and professional. Then for today, we are going to look at how to create a CV. So let me just take us through what a CV is. We are all familiar with CV, which is curriculum vitae. We know CV is just like a detailed document that is highlighting our educational background, work experience, our skills, our achievements, the awards that we have won. In fact, it gives a summary of our whole academic and also work life. So basically, it serves as our professional passport. Whenever you show your CV, it explains who are you, from where you start, where are you now, and where you are heading to in terms of academia and also working experiences. So it simply shows employers or institutions who you are and what value can you add to their organization. So whenever you present your CV, you don't have to come and be explaining, I did this, I did that, because that is what you're supposed to include in your CV. So crafting a very professional CV will showcase what you are or who you are professionally. So this is very important. And before we move on, I will guide us that whatever we are putting on CV, we should make sure that it is our truth. So let me not go and put like maybe I'm a data analyst. I can use Excel, Power BI, SQL, Python, and what have you, while I don't even know what they are doing. I just maybe browse in that if you are a data analyst, you should have proficiency in Excel, for instance, Power BI, Tableau, and what have you. So when I put that in my CV, as soon as I present the CV to the employer or to the recruitment team, they know, yes, this guy knows what he's doing. So, but they will ask me to prove practically, you understand? So we'll have to make sure whatever you are putting in your CV is what you are, is what you have. So let me just take us briefly to some types of CVs. We have different types of CVs, but basically we can have a type that we can call it as chronological CV, which normally list our work and academic experiences in reverse order. Like this year, we are in 2025 and we are in the capacity building training. So this is the latest training we are doing. So I will put it as at the top, you understand? Maybe last year I attended another session or another webinar or program, maybe it will be second. So I'll start from the latest academic history I have. If it is in terms of working experience, I will start with the latest working experience, then followed by the previous working experiences. Something like I did this in 2025, then the second one will be what I have done in 2024, 2023, like that. So normally it's best for those that have a steady career path. What I mean by steady career path is that maybe you are taking your working experience is like in order. Maybe you spend 2 years in so department, then the next 2 years or 3 years in another department, something like that. But if you are a kind of person that maybe you don't have a straightforward career, you work here, then you move to the another place. You understand? Maybe I started working in this, maybe Ministry of Commerce from 2023 to date. I'm still working there. Then maybe around 2024, I moved to another ministry while still working with Ministry of Commerce. So you see, this is more of not a steady or straightforward career path. So in such cases, chronological CV is not recommended, but rather a CV that will showcase the career changes, you understand, or maybe the career gaps, which maybe I might call it something like a functional CV that focuses only on skills or maybe the competencies rather than the history of what you have done. And again, in a broader perspective, we can have what we call academic CV and also industry or industrial CV. So academic CV is a CV that focuses on our academic career, while the industry CV or maybe working CV is a CV that focuses on our working experiences. Like we are in the civil service, maybe we can focus more on the industrial or maybe work-based CV because we are trying to showcase our working experience, not our academic activities. Like if you look at those people or civil servants that are working in educational institutions, so they would prefer more more educational CV than the industry-based CV. So you see, it depends on what type of CV you are crafting. So you can decide which one you are going for. But most of the times, the whole types of CVs are combined. But what will make your CV to be different is a CV that is being crafted to a particular job or maybe to a particular promotion or something relevant to that. So make sure always when you are crafting your CV, it tallies with the responsibilities or the expectations, or I should say the description of what you are applying for, be it in academy, be it in your working place, maybe it's for promotion, or maybe you are changing from social ministry to another ministry. So just tailor your CV to what you are aiming for. So that's why if you are like applying for maybe promotion, or maybe you are moving from your ministry to another ministry, or maybe you are pursuing a career in different organization. So assuming you are applying for let's say 1,000 organizations. So you are expected to craft 1,000 copies of CV because for each particular application or for each particular CV that of use that you need the CV to, so you must tailor that to that particular. You cannot just be using one single CV for all of your application. That is a very wrong practice. So if you apply for 100 places, make sure you have 100 CVs that are tailored to each individual application you are writing to. And in general, whenever whatever type of CV you are doing, so make sure it is ATS friendly. What we mean by ATS is applicant tracking system. Most of the times, if you submit your CV for application, and in recent times in the digital era, maybe for promotion, or maybe you are switching career from this career to another career, before the recruiter look at your CV, normally they have a software. Most of the organizations and ministries and government bodies now, recently they have a software, and that software is what they call ATS, Applicant Tracking System. That software is used to confirm that your CV is is tailored towards what you are applying for, So if your CV is not formatted properly, it may never reach the human that is expected to maybe issue an interview. So then they will have to subject your CV through that particular software to make sure that everything is intact before they can start even looking at the CV. Because you can believe me, here in Nigeria, maybe a window will be open for only 3 people, but at the end, over 3,000 applicants will apply. So how could you expect a person to be looking through 3,000 CVs while he's just looking for three? So even if you are the recruiter, it will be a very overwhelming work for you. So, but if you have the ATS software, you can just send all the CVs to the software. You can just give it some keywords or what you are expected from the CV. It can be able to uh, draw out like maybe 5 or 10. Then from there, you can spend your time looking through the CVs. So common ATS issues that might trigger problems is sometimes when you have a fancy font, maybe you do not go for a single font style. Maybe some parts you are using Times New Roman, some parts you are using Badana, some parts you are using Calibri. You italize this, you bold this, you understand. You just make it like to look very fancy, and that is not recommended. Or sometimes there are some keywords that are familiar to that particular job you are applying for. Or maybe if you are looking for a promotion, you understand there are some key terms that you are expected to include in your CV. So sometimes missing such keywords will make your CV to be not ATS friendly, among many other issues. So when you are crafting your CV, make sure you make the formatting to be unique. Do not put heavy graphics or formatting on this, and just make it very simple formatting and stick to like readable fonts, something like Badana, or maybe use Times New Roman, or maybe Calibri, you understand. They also use a very clear heading, something like education, work experience, skills, certifications, webinars, trainings, you understand, publications, workshops, and what have you. Something very straightforward. And always make sure you include the skills that are relevant to that particular job you are applying to. So let me not take us very far. Let us go to the practical so that I will use Microsoft Word so that you can see how we can draft a simple CV. So just follow me. So let me stop sharing my screen and switch to Microsoft Word. So please, if you have any problem, let me know so that I will not just be going without carrying everybody along. Okay, so here we are in Microsoft Office. So, so as usual, for us to have a broader view of what we are doing, so I hope you can see my screen, please. Okay, thank you. So, uh, first in first place, let me go to the layout and make sure the page layout, sorry, the size of the paper is A4. Let me confirm that. Yes, A4. Then also for the margin, so that I can have enough space, let me go for narrow. So let me zoom in again a little so that we can have space to type in everything. Thank you, Abdullah. Okay, so what I will do now, please, sorry, it will just be a little different. So let me go back to the home. So let me select Times New Roman throughout. So for the, okay, let me leave it as 11. So if you like, we can go to the normal here. You can just right click on that and go to modify. That means it will allow us to modify the whole page. So I will select Times New Roman. Is 11 is okay for me. The size, font size, I mean. So let me just go with okay. So by default, it's in Times New Roman, font size 11. So so I'll just be putting random information, please. So just bear with me. But when you are crafting your CV, make sure you use relevant information. And this is not the only way for you to design your CV. There are a lot of other different ways. Or you can use what do you call it? You can use a template. So let me go and insert table because I want it to be highly organized. So let me just take 2 by 1 table. Okay. So what I will do now, okay, let me go to the layout. So, okay, everything is okay. So from here, I can write my name. So let me type my name, Abdul Muhaimin Muhammad. So let me go hit on tab so that I can get to the next cell. So let me write my, let's say, phone number, uh, plus 23470, maybe something like 00000000. This is my phone number. Let's say I have another phone number, so I can write it, maybe 234800000. Then I will hit on enter so I can get to the next line. Let me type my email. Let me see your email, your email at email.com. So you can just type your own email anyhow. So maybe you have another one. Maybe you have organizational email, maybe for your ministry. Maybe my name at, maybe let's say it's Hammad Technologies.com, for instance. So these are the two emails. So don't worry, it's getting down. I will drag this one to the right so that it can fit. You understand? So let me hit on enter again. So maybe what will I have to write again? Let's say I will write my address, maybe number 22, my street name, maybe Kano, Nigeria. Maybe my zip code is 700-213 or something like this. You understand? So what again? Maybe you might require like putting maybe your date of birth. There are some information that are not relevant to your CV. Some informations you can give them verbally. So things like gender, religion, date of birth, putting pictures, along many other things. Some say it's needed, some say it is not needed. So what you stick to, just stick to like the what the organization is looking for. Some need to see your picture, some need to see whether you are married and maybe your number of the children. So just pay attention to the details of what the organization is needing. You understand? So let's say maybe I can just put my profiles, you understand, or maybe if you like we can come back this side, but I prefer to just put it here. So anywhere you need it to be. So as I told you, there are a lot of different designs. So I'm trying to like put uh, my LinkedIn username, for instance. So maybe LinkedIn, sorry, I use caps, so let me just say like linkedin.com, something like this slash. I think this is how they put their link, maybe your name or something like that. You understand? So you might think of maybe putting your Facebook handle, whatever you need to put. So you can just put it anyhow. So let me make this to be a little bold. Let me increase the font. Sorry, let me drag this one back so that it can fit. So my name is a bit long, so that's why it might not fit. So okay. So I think it fits now. So let me go to the layout. Just follow me. So I'll take it down. So let me increase the uh, okay, so you see, if I make it a big, so let me just leave it like this. So just find your way to like, customize it any way you want it to be. So I want to remove the border of this table because I don't want to see the table there. I go to the, sorry, design, then borders. I will select no border. So you see, it is as if I have not even put any table here. You understand? So this is where I have my cursor. So maybe I will just give something like professional summary if I like, or maybe I can just without putting any professional summary. Okay, let me go with the professional summary. So I want to just give some brief information about me. So okay, let me change it to uppercase. everything uppercase. Maybe I will bold it. So for this one, maybe it's a heading. Let me change it to like Calibri heading, for instance. So I can just be a little different from the previous writings. You understand? So let me also go to here to the paragraph. So let me put border below. You understand? So it can just be a little different from what I have from other sections. Okay. So this is what I have. So I'm still using Times New Roman. So let me type, maybe let's say I'm something like experienced. Just bear with me. Uh, Maybe civil servant with, sorry, let's say with over 6 years working experience. So you see, working experience in the maybe Kano State Ministry of Information. So I'm just giving random information. Please bear with me. Okay. And a strong background in ICT service delivery. Okay. So maybe ICT service delivery, and let's say maybe policy implementation, for instance, policy implementation. So you see, I'm trying to give a brief information or a summary about who I am. Implementation. Okay, IT implementation. Then maybe let me add something like uh, maybe adept at coordinating public information campaigns, uh, coordinating public information campaigns. Okay, so you can just give any information that you just give a brief summary of your working experience, maybe what you are capable of doing, brief information about your skills. You understand? You see now, like now that I say adept at coordinating public information campaigns, I'm trying to give my core skills. I have already given my working experience and which sector I'm working on and what background do I have. You understand? So I'm now giving what I have already worked on, maybe something like maybe integrating maybe modern technological platforms to improve administrative processes. You understand? Maybe developing software. Just give you any information you just feel like giving. You understand that you just highlight a brief summary. You understand? Maybe you can give, maybe you have a foundation in, let's say, computer science, is it biology, whatever you have. You understand? So after the professional summary, maybe let's say I will go for work experience because we are dealing with civil service. You understand? Before I give my, okay, let me go with skills. Okay, skills before the working experience. So I want to copy this formatting. So let me just select. Okay, sorry. Let me just select this. I will go to the format painter and I'll just click on this skill so that it copies the formatting of the professional summary. You understand? So that I don't have to. So maybe after that, I will go with maybe work experience. Maybe the next thing I will go for maybe education. You understand? Maybe education. So I will also copy this format painter. I will click on working experience, sorry. So I'll just select the whole of working experience. Okay, I need to give space before I, let me hit enter so that it will be in space. Okay, okay, no problem. we can just join and spend more minutes. So let me format Penta, then working experience. And also again, let me hit enter. I also format Penta, then education. Okay. So for the skills also, maybe for it to be more customized also, if I like, I can take the, what do you call it, the table again. So let me select, let me just select, okay, 2 by 2 also. Then let me go to insert, query home. Let me put bullets, you understand? So I want to highlight my skills. So let me just reduce the font size times New Roman also. So for the skills, what skills can we put? Maybe proficient in maybe data collection. So let's say maybe Microsoft Word. We just Microsoft Office suite. To just list your skills, whatever you have. So let me tap so that I can get to the next box. So also here, maybe I can just put something like ICT for civil service efficiency. I will hit enter, you understand? So let me copy this formatting. So let me put the formatting here so that they will be the same. So maybe for the next thing, I can use like maybe something like report writing. Okay, the formatting doesn't apply to this one. So just be typing any skill that you feel like. So let me remove this. Let me go to the design border. I will select no border. So you see it appears like I have not used any table. Then also for the work experience, maybe you can just give where you have worked. Let me start with the recently work. Maybe let me start with the year. So I will go times New Roman. Maybe from, let's say, 2015 to date, for instance. So let me just come here and just click on the ruler. You understand? So that I can mark a tab stop. So whenever I hit on tab, it will just automatically stop at this particular point. So maybe I served as principal, maybe IT officer. You understand? So let me just hit dash. Maybe let me put my place, maybe ministry. I said Ministry of Information, Kano State, from Kano State, Nigeria. So let me bold this. Let me bold it. So I will hit enter, then I can come down, then I will hit on tab so that it can take me to directly this tab stop. So let me put bullets so that I can give some brief description of what I have done. Maybe I will say maybe my achievements or maybe what you have done while you are in that role. Maybe I can say maybe supervised the state, maybe public information, maybe campaigns. You understand? Maybe you did something again, you can just mention it and it has to be in past tense, maybe coordinated, maybe something like ICT tools, delivery, delivery to no, maybe to LGS. Let me just say LGS. You can just list or highlight whatever you have done. When you are done, you can hit enter again so it can come back to where you started here. Then maybe from let's say I can say maybe 2010 to like let's say maybe 2015. You can hit tab so that I can take us to this tab stop. Then let me put bold. You understand? Maybe I served as maybe something like ICT officer dash maybe let me take another ministry. Maybe I worked at Federal Ministry of Works. Maybe I worked there, Nigeria. Maybe before I come back to being a principal IT officer at the Ministry of Information, because maybe I worked here. Let me hit on top. Let me also select the bullets. So maybe what I have done, maybe let's say maybe I managed, sorry, console B so that the bold will disappear. Maybe managed ICT service delivery in the Northwest zone, for instance. You can just mention anything you understand. So you see, this is like in a chronological order. So just mention as many as you could. So let me move to the education place so that the time will not elapse without us taking some other things. So just mention whatever you do, maybe your IT, your internship, maybe NYSC, whatever and the working experience. Just make sure you put everything. Then the next thing is education, you understand? So let's start with the year, maybe 2008, maybe I graduated. If you like, you can just put graduated, understand? So let me hit on tab so that I don't have a tab stop. Still, it maintains the same tab stop I'm trying to say. So let's see, maybe you have DSC, computer science. So please let us join back again. So I think it's about to cut up. Let's join back again, please. This is where I have my tab stop. Understand? So from here, I can just hit enter, then tab. Okay, the tab stop is not working, so let me select it. Yes. So yeah, maybe I will mention what I have done. Let me put bullets, maybe final year project. Let me start with that. Maybe you can just mention your final year project within this course, you understand? Just give maybe my project, just give what you have worked on. Sorry, then maybe enter the next thing. Maybe I will say, maybe for the activities I served, maybe as I may be president, computer society, whatever that you understand what I'm trying to illustrate here. So just give whatever information you feel like giving. Then maybe after that, you attended maybe high school, for instance, maybe let's say 2000 and let's say 4. If you like, you can just remove the word graduated. You can just give the year, maybe something like 2004 to 2008, maybe here, um, let's say 98 to 2004. Let me hit on tab. Understand? Maybe control B so that it can be in bold. Maybe my secondary school, let's say you attended this science, Kano, for instance. Or maybe we start with the certificate, maybe SS, sorry, control B, SSCE, Senior Secondary Certificate Examination. Understanding, can just, sorry, space, then I will go to the end, then I'll hit my enter, then tab, then I can put my bullets here, Maybe I obtained West African Examination Council, for instance. Maybe the year is 2004. So maybe you can just go ahead, maybe participated in, let's say, maybe Jet Club. Just give whatever information you feel like giving. Then maybe you give your first school, what do you call it? First school living certificate, maybe this primary school you attended. Then lastly, let me just add something like maybe certifications and trainings. Certifications and trainings. So let me copy this format painter, then let me apply it here so that it will just be like what we have done. So let me just put the bullets, you understand. So maybe I attended maybe graduate IT employability skills bootcamp, maybe 2.0, for instance, maybe organized by Hammad Technologies. Let me just put here maybe something like 2024, for instance. Let me just bold Hammad Technologies. So if I like, I can use what I have been using before, table, so that the first part will be what I have learned, and the second part will be the organizations I obtained that. So maybe presently, let's say I'm attending capacity building training for Nigerian Civil Servants, maybe also by Hammad Technologies. Also, let me say in bracket 2025. Let me enclose this one in brackets too. You understand? So maybe you attended maybe something like maybe a webinar or whatever. Just mention it here. So you see, you can just have a whole lot of ways to to customize your CV. Maybe you attended digital, okay, control B, digital transformation webinar, maybe organized by, let's see, Kano State Ministry of Information. Uh, Maybe let's see what year, let's say something like 2009. So maybe 2017, because 2009 maybe you are not in the ministry or any something similar. So you can just give any information you can give here. You understand? So if you have any additional section that you feel like you need to add it, then you can just go ahead and add it. So maybe let me go for referee, which is very important also. Let me copy this formatting. It didn't work. Math Painter. Yes, it worked now. So you can just list your reference, or if you like, you can just say something like available, maybe on request. So maybe if they request for your, what do you call it, for the reference, then you can just give their list. So this is just a way that we can use to craft our CV. Let me go for print preview so I can see what we have. So you see, so by me looking at the CV from this angle, let me just zoom it a little. So by me looking at this, you can see it's what? It is well formatted. You see the font style, there is no any fancy designs, you understand? It's unique. We just use only two font styles. We used I think Calibri and also Times New Roman, you understand? We don't have unnecessary boldings and you see how the line spacing is. You see everything is well organized. All the sections are very well organized. So this is just like a clear way that you can employ to craft our CV. As I have said, whenever you are drafting your CV, make sure you follow the standard of the organization you are taking your CV to, or it will have to be tailored to the particular application you are doing. That means the purpose of the CV. But as I said, make it unique, make it professional. Don't use fancy coloring, don't use fancy formattings, and always tailor your CV to what you are applying to. So this is where we are going to stop. So please, if you have any question or any observation, I will be in the chat box. We have already spent much time, so you can just drop your question in the chat so that I can respond to that. So I will give you 2 minutes to, if you have any question, just raise it. In writing the experiences, is it advisable to include the current job? Is it okay if they know one is currently working? Yes, Aisha, I could say yes. Because most of the times when you apply, you send your CV for application, when they select you for interview, they used to ask you, where was your last working place? So it's better you include it. That's my advice. It's better you include it unless if you have issue with your previous employer. So in that case, that's why we have maybe from 2015 to present or to date. So please, I recommend you write that current job that you are working on, because you'll have to give them reason why you are leaving the previous work and you are coming to their own, and you'll have to be very smart in that. Don't make them think that you leave them when you have a better job offer. But if you have the necessary skills, wherever you are working, they will find their way to convince you to work with them. So I advise, please, you put that. So any question again? And also our main focus is for us to know how we can use Microsoft Word to navigate the formattings or to craft our CV. So that's our main sole aim. So just make your CV simple, clear, and professional. Always focus on relevance, not length. Don't say you have maybe attended 100 schools. And in those schools, there are some schools that are not even relevant to what you are doing. So just make sure you put relevant information, and always update your CV with new trainings, webinars, achievements, and any other educational career that you have undergone. So also even this capacity building training webinar, so please you can add it to the certifications or maybe webinars or whatever you call it. So, okay, I'm coming, Aisha, I will do that. Okay, Abdullah says, are the skills, education, and experience, must they be in the same order? No, it's not necessary for them to be in the same order. So the reason why I put my CV that way, let me share it again. I will give you my reason. It depends on what you are applying for. Like for instance, I've done here is more of industry-based CV. You understand? First in first, I want to show the person that is promoting me from my current position to the next senior position, or maybe the person that is going to employ me. I want to first of all show him that I have the skills that he's looking for. Maybe from the job description, maybe from the promotion description, they said you must be proficient data collector. You must have expertise in Microsoft Office, so maybe Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and what have you. And they said maybe you must be very proficient in report writing. So that's why I have to show him that I have those skills. So what proves that I have the skills is because I worked as a principal IT officer in the Ministry of Information, Kano State, because I supervise public information campaigns, and after the campaign, I submitted a report. So that is where I have the report writing skill, for instance. Maybe under being as part of my activities as a principal IT officer, I developed data collection tools using ComCare, ODK, and what have you. So you see, once you can be able to design data collection tool, then definitely you know how to collect the data. You understand? Then also by coordinating some ICT tools delivery, it showcases that I normally use Microsoft Excel, for instance, to have the inventory of the tools that are being distributed. And also for the report writing, if I'm good in report writing, then definitely I know Microsoft Word. And being a supervisor, I must present what I have done. So you see, I have expertise in PowerPoint and what have you, understand? Because they need to see what I can do. That's why I put skills and work experience on top of education. But if maybe I'm using academic CV, I'm applying for scholarship, you understand, I will have to show them first I have the educational backgrounds they are looking for, because they don't care whether you are working or you are not working, you understand. So you'll have to present education first. Then before certification and trainings, maybe you'll have to present something like publications, maybe seminars you have attended, workshops, and what have you. So that is my reason. So it's not necessary for it to be in that order. So it depends on what you are doing. Okay. Yes, Aisha, thank you. Always we need to tailor our CV according to the available vacancy. You understand it very well. That is correct. That is why it's very important for us to look at the job description before we tailor our CV. So always tailor your CV to what they are looking for. That's why this professional summary or the introduction, from there you'll have to showcase, you'll have to sell out yourself that you are competent to do the job they are looking for. So that is what you'll have to give them in the professional summary first. Then you give them the skills that they are looking for. You have the skills. Then you prove that by listing your working experiences. Yunusa Musa, so this is it, Aisha. You say thank you for making the class engaging. Yeah, Musa, when you apply to the opportunity, so do we need to update the CV time to time? Yes. Whenever you apply for any opportunity, make sure you update your CV to match that particular job description. You understand? Like maybe, for instance, you might have a certificate, let's say in monitoring and evaluation, for instance, and you are writing a CV to apply for a scholarship. So you see that your certificate in monitoring and evaluation, or maybe your working experiences in monitoring and evaluation, might not be relevant in the scholarship you are applying for. Maybe you are going for a whole different thing that is entirely different from what you have. So you see, you don't have to like put you have a certificate in monitoring and evaluation. You understand? But if that certificate or if that information you are writing in your CV is relevant to the job you are description you are applying for, so make sure you include that information because of the ATS that the CV will undergo. You understand? So this is it. So we have spent enough time. So I think with your contribution, which I really appreciated, I will put a pause here. And I believe as we progress in our career, our CV should grow with us. Whenever you are moving professionally, make sure your CV is also moving professionally. Whatever certificate you obtain, make sure you immediately add it to your CV. That's why I use the word as you progress in your career, make sure your CV grow with you. Don't leave your CV behind because it will reflect your journey, your impact, your readiness for greater responsibility. So it's very important that you have this in your mind. So I think I will take the last question. Okay, Yaya Musa, you said what is ATS? ATS is applicant tracking system. Let me write it here. Applicant tracking system. It's just a software that many organizations use to filter CVs. Normally, they use keywords, relevant information, relevant skills, and what have you to track your CV. So with this, we have come to the end of today's class, and I believe you can be able to design our CV the way it's supposed to be. So the purpose of this class is just for us to see how we can navigate through Microsoft Office to customize our CV. And always remember, tailor your CV to the particular application. If you applying for 1,000 positions, try to have 1,000 different CVs and make your CV ATS friendly. So with this, we have come to the end of the class, and I wish to see you in our next class or in the subsequent classes, as today we have marked the mid of the 40 days. We have spent 20 days already. So wish you the best of luck and have a good night rest. Bye.